This is the Halting Winter podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. Halting Winter exists to help business owners align their products and their teams toward a clear and compelling mission in order to scale and soar. If you're a business owner and you're feeling the overwhelm, you're feeling the frustration of having a team that seems to be misaligned, that they're not rowing in the same direction. If your company doesn't have a clear mission and not a vision statement, not a mission that's 10 years in the future, I'm talking about a clear and compelling mission that is in front of you. A year and a half to 2 years out, it's driven by economic objectives that you are trying to reach as a company. If you don't have that, I would love to set up a free assessment with you and just talk to you about how that can really drive the business and the company to not only grow, but to succeed and to soar. You want to be a company that's soaring. There's a difference between a bird that's flapping furiously and a bird that's wings are extended and it's soaring on those air currents. You want to be a business that soars. I want your work to be enjoyable. I want it to be meaningful, and I want you to grow, because healthy things grow. If your business is healthy, it's going to grow. If it's unhealthy, it's going to stay where it's at, and worse, it's going to decay. We don't want that for you. So this week, we've been talking about marketing and messaging. Is your marketing and messaging actually helping your customers find you, connect with you, desire to use your products and services? We live in a world inundated with messaging and marketing, and so this has to be on point. There's just no more. You could get away 10, 15, 20 years ago with bad marketing and bad messaging. People would still find you. It's just not the case anymore. You've got to be on point with this, and it has to be intentional. And I believe it's got to be intentional in a specific way to cut through all the media and marketing that's out there. And so again, this comes to you, the framework I've laid out in the first two podcasts. Go back and listen to Marketing 101 and this one, and the last one, Marketing 102. Today, Marketing 103. We're putting it all together. All of this comes from Business Made Simple. Business Made Simple is a company owned by Donald Miller. I'm a certified coach with Don, and just really enjoy the framework, the way he has broken down business, not only a business into 6 parts, but also then those 6 parts into real clear ways, simple ways to understand. Because here's the reality. Most business owners, depending on the size of your business, you're trying to, if you're starting out in business, you're overseeing all those core aspects of the business, and that is overwhelming. You got into business probably because you are good at one thing. Maybe you're good at product development. You came in with an idea and you built a product, and now you're trying to, but you're not good at sales. You're not good at overhead and operations. You're not good at marketing. Or you came in and you're like, man, I have a message to sell. I'm trying to get this product created because I have this message. And so messaging is good, but product development's not good. Cash flow is not good. The leadership team is kind of all over the place. Again, you don't have a clear mission. There's aspects of the business that for every owner, you're not alone if this is you. If you think, oh, I'm just the unique unicorn and I'm just overwhelmed. Let me tell you, most business owners are overwhelmed. Owning a business is complex, and I want to help make it simple for you. And I think we can do that if we boil things down to their core reduced realities. And this framework, Business Made Simple, I believe helps do that. So we're talking about marketing this week. 2 podcasts ago in Marketing 101, we talked about the character, the hero of your story in your message. And that's not you. That's your customer. We talked about a character, your customer. And number 2, we talked that they have a problem. And your aim is to figure out what that problem is, and not in your terms, because you have the curse of knowledge. You probably really understand their problem in very complex, deep terms. They do not. They know that problem on a scale of a 1 to 2. And so you've got to really figure out, how do I understand their problem at their base need and want, and have I articulated in my messaging their problem in those terms, and using that language in that way so they resonate with it. I've got to be careful, because the curse of knowledge is going to want to compel me to want to speak to really what their problem is, because you may know what their real problem is, but they don't. And marketing and messaging is not the place to educate them. You'll educate them once they have bought in your products or services. That's a part of the journey with you. That is not how you want to sell, though. That will turn them off. It will confuse them. It will not. It will help you feel good about yourself because you'll feel very smart. It will not help them. So a customer is a character in your story who has a problem, who meets a guide. That's you. You're the guide with empathy and authority. You give them a plan. Right? Here's the plan. Here's my product. Here's my service. Here's the benefits of it, not just the features, light features, lots of benefits. And you give them a clear call to action. That's the summary of the last 2 podcasts. Now, today, the last part of your marketing, maybe the most important part of your marketing, after you give them the plan and the call to action, you don't just want to sit there. You want to do a quick recap. You want to do the last piece of the puzzle to really get them to say, I've got to move forward. So that call to action is going to be the clear first step of what they need to do. But before you then let them answer, you need to do one more thing. You need to do 6 and 7. And really, it's one thing, but it will break out into 2. Here we go. You'll see. The final thing is you need to paint the picture. You need to paint the picture. And what is that picture? That picture is of their future. That's why it's 2 parts. The first part of that picture is if they don't say yes to your product or service. If they don't say yes, then here is the failure. Here's what life could experience. Here's what I'm trying to get you to avoid. If you say no, this could be, you're going to still have this problem. You're still going to encounter this. You're going to encounter these obstacles. In fact, the solutions you find may actually cost you time, may cost you. And I want you to avoid that. I want you to avoid failure, but let me paint the picture just to remind you where you're at, and the other solutions actually may be greater problems for you. Let me paint the picture. But I don't want to be gloom and doom. I also want to paint the picture of success. I want to paint a picture of failure if you fail to act, you fail to say yes. But I want to paint the final picture of when you say yes, this is what you're going to encounter. You're going to encounter then, again, not a bunch of features. You're going to encounter the benefits. You're going to experience that thing that you've been missing. You're going to experience the heaven. You're going to experience the good. Okay? So your messaging then, you need to make sure that you understand that. What does it look like to continue? So, for instance, HaltingWinter also, we do personal coaching, and part of our personal coaching is something called the Spartan Program. It's a 90-day program that we take people through to transform their bodies and their minds. We pitch that. We do a lot of pitching as a weight loss program because most people, the only concern they have is they're overweight and they want to get healthy. They want to look good. They want to feel good. And so that's their problem. So we need to pitch the marketing towards that. Even though of course I want people to lose weight. Of course I want people to feel good. I want to do so many more deeper things than that. But here's the thing. If I start pitching those deeper things, they're going to shut me off because they're not there. That's not where their mind is. So I've got to go to them where they are and then take them on the journey. Part of that journey, though, is when I pitch this, I have to tell them, hey, here's the reality, though. The call to action is this. We start in January. The 90-day program starts in January. We got to be in. Let's go. But before we do that, let me remind you, if you don't do this, let me just remind you, it's not just about staying where you're at. It's getting worse. You're going to continue to gain weight. You're going to continue. It's not just the pain that you feel now, the frustration that you feel now is not going to stay the same. It's only going to get worse because guess what? Your body is decaying. Your body isn't in a place of neutrality. Your body is becoming more immobile. You're losing more muscle. You are gaining more fat. It is getting worse. The cost, you say, of I'm nervous about a real health problem. I'm nervous about a heart attack. I'm worried about diabetes. Those are getting closer to you, right? That you are on a trajectory. And so I want you to avoid that. That's why I've built this program. is to help people in your situation not only avoid those things, but turn their entire trajectory around and become a picture of health and vitality. That's what I want for you. So I'm painting the picture of failure, of saying, remember, you have a problem, and that problem is only getting worse. So let's do this, because at the end of this 90 days, you are going to have lost a significant amount of weight. Everyone on this program, if you have over 25 pounds of weight to lose, will lose at least 25 pounds if you do what we tell you. And what we tell you is not extreme. That's not even extreme weight loss. That is just normal, consistent patterns of healthy nutrition and weekly activity. You do those things, you're going to lose. Can you imagine 25 pounds? That's a lot of weight. 25 pounds in 90 days, at least. You're going to lose it. What's that going to look like? What's it going to feel like? How many sizes down will that be in a dress if you're a female, in your jeans if you're a guy? What will that look like to look in the mirror 25? What will that feel like to have 25 pounds? How would you sleep at night with 25 pounds off your body? You probably sleep better, deeper, fuller. You might not snore as much. If you struggle with sleep apathy, sleep apathy, that's awesome. Now I can't even think of the word. If you struggle with sleep, you're going to get better sleep. You're going to have more energy throughout the day. How would that make you feel? You're going to start to, the mobility, that joint pain is going to start to go away because you're going to be more active. Wow. How are you going to feel? How are you going to look? How are you going to feel emotionally? How are you going to feel physically? Let's paint that picture. And then start to get excited. Like, that's what I want. And it's right here. And I'm going to experience that in just 90 days. Now, 90 days, I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to say, in 90 days, you're 100 pounds overweight. You're going to lose all that. No, of course not. I want to be honest and say, it's going to take you probably a year to lose 100 pounds of weight. But you know what? We're going to be there for you. And this 90 days is going to be it's going to be that launching point. It's going to really do some work, because by the end of that 90 days, you're going to know that you can do it. And you're going to see how fast that 90 days went. So you're going to feel good, and it's going to motivate you to continue. And all of a sudden, a year's going to be done. And you're going to look back and go, I'm a whole new person. This is amazing. So I want to paint a picture of the failure. But if you don't, it's not that you'll look in the mirror a year from now and be the same. You will be worse. And you know this, because year by year, it's gotten worse for you. You know that to be true. And so you have a choice to make. It's not, are you going to stay the same or are you going to get better? It's, are you going to tempt fate to see what worse looks like? Because worse could, especially when you're talking about cost, right? Most of us have a product or service that costs an investment, right? It's not cheap. Well, like, what does failure look like? What does it actually physically cost you? Yes, it costs you time. Yes, it costs you health. Yes, it costs you time with grandkids or time with friends, doing things that are active, because you can't even be active. But what is it financially costing you? What would diabetes cost you financially? Well, I have a great health care program. Okay. What's it going to cost you with advancement at work? What's it going to cost you because you might lose your job because of, right? How that's having that weight is having an effect on you mentally. It's not, right. Being overweight doesn't cure depression. In fact, it oftentimes causes depression. You don't think that's going to jeopardize things at work, jeopardize things in relationships? What will that cost you? It will cost you. Again, I want to be careful in this, because I'm not trying to create gloom and doom to them, right? But I want to be honest with them. And sometimes we need that, right? A doctor, when we go into a doctor, it's one thing to have a broken bone. Hey, this is what we need to do for the broken bone, right? It's another thing if you have cancer. They need to paint the site, because you may say, oh, I don't want to go through chemo. I don't want to do that. Okay, but let's be honest then about what you're saying no and yes to. Let's really be honest about quality of life and time of life. Let's be honest, because you have to make a big decision. This is a decision. And I don't want to just be soft with you and go, oh yeah, well, chemo's hard, so I get you don't want to do chemo. And so here, enjoy the rest of your life. No, I want to be clear on, listen, you have to make a big choice. But let's be clear about you not doing the chemo. Yes, chemo sucks, but being at home might be okay for the next couple of weeks, but it's going to set in, and those effects then are going to hinder your life. So what do we want to do? Let's be honest. So again, depending on your services, they might not be as dire, right? For me, I don't want to see people overweight because I was overweight. I know how it affected me in every facet of life, mentally, emotionally, physically. I don't want that for people. So I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about businesses. I just have so much empathy because I've been there. I've ran businesses. I've ran nonprofits. I understand the pressures. I understand the overwhelm. I understand the frustration. I understand the depression at times of trying to be able to will things forward and it not working and not having the right people on the bus, not being able to motivate the right people. And oftentimes, right, what's hard is you oftentimes make excuses about, well, why can't these people or why can't this thing get it together? And then all of a sudden you look and go, it's me. And that's hard, right? I get it. Like I want people to thrive because here's the thing. We need your business. If you have a real compelling product and service, we need that. People need that. They need to experience that because you're trying to bring a heaven to people. You're trying to solve their hell, solve their problem, and give them joy in their life, give them joy in their work, give them joy in their purpose. And so you're important. You matter. That matters. And I hope you're passionate about that. But that doesn't make it easy. Business is hard. It can be a grind. Now, we want you to soar, but let's be honest, even the best of businesses just won't soar completely. There are seasons, there are complexities, there are transformations and changes we have to make, right? As we scale up, as we grow, as we develop, as we become more successful. And so there's always those periods where we need help. We need people to come alongside us. And that's what we want to do at HaltingWinter. We want to come alongside you. I want to be honest about the future, about painting that picture, right? Even with you today. Failure is not acceptable for you because it's more of the same. And in fact, it's probably worse. And we don't want that. We want you to succeed. We want you to soar. We want you to enjoy it. We want to take away the overwhelm and instead give passion and exuberance and excitement about what you do and about where you're going. And so have you done that? Have you done that in your marketing, in your messaging? Are you clear about what failure continues to look like if they don't use your product and services and what it could look like if they do? Give them a picture of the hell. Give them a picture of the prison that they're going to continue to stay in if they don't partake of your product and your service, but also paint the picture of success that they're going to encounter, the joy that they're encountering. And again, emotions. Are you tying into their emotions? Are you really going back to the first thing is, do you know their problem? Because if you really know their problem, if you really understand that problem in their language, you're going to have an easier time with this last element of painting that picture so that they say yes, so that they go, that's right. I am saying no to where I'm at. I'm saying no to where I could go if I'm continue to wrestle with this problem. Instead, I'm saying yes. Instead, I'm saying yes to the investment of this product and the service because I want that life. I want that betterment. I want to encounter the benefits of what this product and service will give to me. I hope that helps. Think about your marketing and messaging with those 7 frameworks that you have a character, that character has a problem, that problem and character should meet a guide who has empathy and authority, who can give them a plan, who can call them to action, and who can paint the future, a future without the products and services, which will not be pleasant, and a future with those products and services where they will encounter success, where they will encounter their problem being overcome, and the life that they were intended to live to be lived out. So hopefully that's helpful. If we can help you dial in your messaging and your marketing using this framework, we would love to help that. And again, we can dive really into this framework more in depth. I hope that this overview has helped for this podcast, and I hope that's inspired you to think about your marketing and your messaging in a new way, in a clearer and a simpler way, and use that framework for your website, use it for your email campaigns, use it for however you're speaking to your customers. I hope that helps, and if you need more help, give us a call, set up a time for a free complimentary consultation. Go to HaltingWinter.com, and you can set that up there. I hope that you enjoy Christmas. I hope that you enjoy this season, and I hope that you put some of these things into practice as we start the new year. Until we meet again.